I do think we overschedule. We do have a tendency
Yeah.
to fill our kids' lives, and even our own lives, with all kinds of extracurricular activities and social obligations that I don't remember my parents doing nearly as much, and certainly my
No.
grandparents didn't. So that's part of the gist of that article I wrote for Jonathan Haidt's platform as well. It's parents, it's okay to do less. Sometimes descheduling can make everything feel a lot easier because you're not so exhausted by it all.
You know what's funny about overscheduling, and I don't know if you've heard this too. I've heard this from so many parents. Like, I keep them busy with X, Y, and Z to keep them off the screens. Have you ever heard people say that?
I have. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's a common theme, and I don't think that that's a bad thing necessarily,
Yeah.
especially if you are in the active process of getting your kids, like, sort of, what's it called? There's the replacement phase. So if your kids are used to having most of their time spent on devices, you are going to need to fill that time with other activities in order to make it less painful, right? There is sort of a withdrawal that occurs, and signing them up for organized activities can be a great way to push through that. However, it may not be how you want to continue living, because that can be exhausting. And there's a lot of value in just having quiet downtime, in having mealtime together as a family, sitting down to eat, having time to get homework done, getting to bed at a good time.
Yeah.
Just creating time and space for spontaneous conversations and hangouts with family and friends. All of
Yeah.
it's very valuable.
And I would just add, this goes back to your article too, but if you condition them for doing less, right? If you condition them for boredom, for quiet moments, things like that, you won't feel like you have to overschedule them to keep them off screens, right? So if you combine conditioning them to do less with digital minimalism, I think you have a formula for letting them figure out what to do on their own, kind of going back to that resilience a little bit that we were talking about before. So it's like an interesting paradox, but actually doing less will benefit you in the long run, right?